So we're all here for the My Little Pony? Yeah, My Little Pony! No, okay, I'm kidding. We're here for the Dragon Ball Z panel! I'm going to introduce the moderator, Jimmy!
Come on, guys, don't cheer too loud for me. Out of curiosity, who's a Dragon Ball Z fan here? Okay, we got a couple people. Hi, my name is Jimmy, and of course, I will be your moderator for the Dragon Ball Z cast panel. Of course, I'm gonna bring up some amazing guests up in just a little bit. But before we get started, I just wanted to do a quick raise to your hands to the sky for Akira Toriyama, who we lost earlier this year. Give him your power, just a quick moment of respect. Thank you so much for hearing me with this. I hope you guys are gonna have a great time. Again, we have some amazing and talented, superhuman people up here. They're gonna come up. Here's how it's gonna work. I'm gonna ask them a couple of questions because I call dibs. And then afterwards, we will be able to have you guys ask your own questions as well. We will be setting up a mic just for questions. If you see Cal, he was the gentleman that was just right up next to me. If you go up to him, he'll be screening your questions, let him know what you want to ask. He'll give you the thumbs up, the thumbs down, or maybe we want to rethink our questions. Be respectful. They're all, as talented as they are, they're human, trust me, it's weird. But with all that said, please help me by bringing up some of my friends. Can you please cheer them on? You know him as Goku, Mr. Schemmel. All right. Next up, you know him as Vegeta. You know him as Piccolo. Can we get Mr. Chris Sabat up here? All right. You know him as adult Gohan. He's also the narrator and my personal favorite, the Ox King. Can we get Kyle Hebert? All right. Now we have the bad boys. You know him as Cell. Can we get Dameon Clarke up here? And last, but certainly not least, you know him as Jiren. Can we get Mr. Patrick Seitz up here? All right, can we get a quick round of applause for our friends up here?
Whoa.
There we go.
Check. Oh, there we go.
Hello.
Check. Testing. Next time.
All right.
First,
Take one.
here's the first and most important question. First of all, how are y'all doing today?
Well, because of everybody here, pretty freaking awesome. Look at everybody. This is
right.
awesome. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you guys for being up here.
Oh, my God.
Also, just as important, how's everyone up here doing?
At least it's not scorching hot today, huh? That's pretty
Yeah.
bad. Pretty nice day, huh?
It's
Yeah, we got pretty lucky.
It's getting a little warm.
It's getting a
so
little
turn
warmer,
up the
but
AC a little bit.
I'm feeling good.
Someone get on it. God, can you put AC? Okay.
Your wish has been granted. Yeah.
All right. No. So yeah, someone go find the Dragon Balls, like all 7 of them, and then also the Namekian ones, and just get colder weather up here. Just a little bit. Doesn't need to be too bad. First off, just kind of going down the list, because many people know you by name, but they may not know you by face, right? You can
No, they do.
Just in case they're forgot their glasses at home, can you remind them who you are, who you play, please?
On Dragon Ball?
Yes, please.
My name is Schemmel, and I have been the voice of Goku for the last 25 years, and I voiced King Kai, and I voiced Nail, and then he got sucked up by Piccolo, and so King Nail's inside Chris now, and that's why I play on Dragon Ball.
I'm Chris Sabat. I do the voice of Vegeta, Piccolo, and Yamcha. And,
Just say everything.
And Nail is inside me.
I'm Kyle Hebert. I voice adult Gohan, not little Gohan, but also the narrator next time on Dragon Ball Z, and Ox King and Weskai and Pycon. And I've been doing this for 24 years.
I love your West Kai, Kyle. I'm a big
I've been
fan.
doing this for
Thank you very
35 years.
I've been doing this for 100 years.
Yeah, you win. You win.
I just started today.
Hi, I'm Dameon Clarke. I do the voice of Cell and Future Gohan and what else? South Kai, Killa. And some others as well.
Hey, everybody. Wait, is that on? Hello. Now it is, yeah. I'm Patrick Seitz, and I voice Jiren. He's very serious. He's very serious. And I've been doing it for like 30 minutes. In comparison to these guys.
Hey, 30 minutes is more than some get in lifetime. So you guys all
24 years.
Wow, 24 years.
That's a long time.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah.
Long run.
And you know, 24 years, long time. Dragon Ball Z, arguably one of the biggest anime franchises in the world. I love behind-the-scenes stories. So whoever wants to start, how did you get involved with Dragon Ball in the first place?
Eric Vale for me.
He's
there
the
was-
voice of Trunks.
There was an
Eric.
open casting call in a newspaper in 1999, and my friends were like, "You should audition for this. You're really great at voices." And I'm like, "No, I'm happy being a French horn player." And they're like, "You should really do it." And I said, "Fine, I'll do it. But when I do stuff, I take it real seriously." And so I went and auditioned. Chris and I were not friends. I didn't know him. And then after I auditioned, I called Chris every day for 2 weeks and said,
Yeah.
"Hey, what happened with the audition? It should be great if I could do it." And he's like, "Trust me, no, we'll call you. Don't call us, we'll call you." And then he called me and he's like, "Oh, Sean, we cast Dragon Ball and you're going to be the voice of Goku." And I was like, "Are you sure? Because I really did a good job at Captain Ginyu. Could I be Captain Ginyu, please?" He's like, "No." And then he didn't tell me Goku was the lead. He said, "Trust me, you're going to love this role." And I'm like, "Okay." And then I just went to work.
Chris, is it weird when people do impressions of you? Like,
Oh, the whole world does it.
Everyone
You're like,
does
I
it.
don't
I'm
sound
used
like
to it by
that.
now.
His daughters do it, and it's hilarious when they do.
It is true. And
I don't
Sean wasn't
sound like
exaggerating any of that. Like, it was like, who's on the phone? I'm like, Sean again.
Never do that in show business. Never. That's the
Yeah.
wrong thing to do.
The opposite thing you should do.
Unless.
We were actually a few weeks into recording a Dragon Ball, and because Goku, he had only referenced the stuff kind of up to where we were about to record, which
Right.
is mostly just Piccolo and Gohan in the woods.
Right.
And it took a little while for me to finally tell him, like, "Hey, bro, you know you're the lead in this show."
Yeah, I
right?"
did not get it. Yeah, at all.
He's like, "Oh, I thought this was about a green guy and a little kid." in the woods."
Yeah. Well, they weren't telling us anything.
We
were
didn't
just
have
like,
internet
Go.
back then,
We
okay,
didn't have
so-
materials, yeah.
Nice. Open casting call in 2000. I used to be a DJ on the radio on Radio Disney. Me and Kara Edwards, actually, who eventually became Videl and Goten. And so we came on board in the summer of 2000.
Eric Vale, man, we were doing a crappy indie movie, and he was like, "You should go check this out." It's not a very good story, is it? No, he was talking about it, and I was like, I thought it was like, it was back when we called it a cartoon,
Yeah, we didn't know
because we
better.
didn't know nothing.
You know, the story of how we found Eric Vale was pretty funny, though, too.
How'd you find Eric?
Well, he had come in to audition like before Trunks was even in the show, and I remember that I was like, "This guy's good." And I remember thinking like, "This guy's good," and circled it on his like headshot. He was the only voice actor in Dallas to have brought a headshot in.
Because he's a real actor.
Because he was real and he was actually doing the right thing. I think Dameon did afterwards, but he was the first that brought him in. I'm like, that's cool. And then I'm super organized, so of course I put it in a place where I really was going to remember where it was. And we were auditioning for Trunks, and we could not figure out who was going to play Trunks. And then finally I was like, oh, wait, the guy with the headshot dude. And so I found the headshot, but it didn't have his resume attached to it. And I was like, well, I want this guy to play Trunks, but I don't know who he is. And it turns out an actress named Tiffany Vollmer, who was the voice of Bulma at the time, goes, I know that guy. I know, he's from Denton. He works at a pizza place.
with my brother, by the way.
And she
Who was
goes-
working with the pizza place with my brother.
She goes, I'll call him right now. So she called him, and he came up to record, and he came up to audition, and he got the role, which is funny if you think about like Vegeta asking Bulma where Trunks is, and we found him at a pizza shop.
How about you, man?
I'm trying, like, I feel like Sabat, like, you're like, hey, we got this character, man, if you want to do it. Like, he yells a lot. I'm like, okay, this is great. I'd love to yell with you guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, we need like a serious ringer for this one. Like at a certain point, we were just trying to find people who hadn't been on Dragon Ball before, because pretty much everyone had been on Dragon Ball. But we needed someone big and deep, and that's Patrick Seitz.
I was playing the long game.
Yeah.
Well, you're also on Monkey Kid with me
Get
also.
big
as
and
Chris
deep on
as
the
well.
phone.
It's amazing. So all of you are multi-talented voice actors, voicing many characters across just different shows and genres, but also many characters within the Dragon Ball franchise itself. How did you find each character's unique voice, and how do you keep coming back to it if you have to reprise that role?
It's a challenging thing because we were originally replacing the Canadian cast, and so it's hard as an actor to like find the voice and copy that and then slowly make it your own. And I made a conscious choice, I think, for Kai, where I really wanted to settle into something that I felt really worked well for what I wanted to do with the character, but still preserve what I'd been doing. And so once I settled on it was a little bit too high for me because I'm a baritone, and so I wanted to keep it in that quasi-tenor space. And so by the time I settled on Kai, that's kind of where I've kept it. But the tricky part, and I got to give Damon Mills some credit here because he's been directing me on this last game we've been working on, and keeping track of, I didn't realize that subtly changing the voice for every single form was going to bite me in the ass later. And so keeping track of all that for like Super Saiyan 4, Super Saiyan 3, God mode red hair, God mode, and it's all real subtle different things, And so Damon has just been on top of just keeping all my references, everything in line, going through, making sure everything's right, really nitpicking it. It's a very challenging thing to do, but it's easy to solve as long as you keep vocal references around. Because the second I hear it, I can do it. But after 25 years, it's a little bit tricky. And then the other thing is just as I age, to make sure I can keep, if I have to mimic a scream from what I did when I was younger and healthier, to make sure I can still do it at the exact same level, which has not bothered me yet, but I can feel it creeping. So my doctor's like, go to the gym, dude.
It was kind of tricky back in the day because we didn't have we couldn't really easily pull up references for people because we were. I remember back in those days, I was begging the producer. I'm like, hey, can we just get 4 more megabytes of RAM? No, Chris, you're crazy. Like we're sticking at 128.
Megabytes. Yeah.
We don't have room for the IBM sized computer.
Oh my! If I wanted to get an old episode out, we'd have to like let it load onto the computer overnight. It was just a slow process. We have to take it off a zip drive or something.
Oh yeah.
It was awful. So yeah, we just had to guess.
Yep, we had to dub to videotape. So if you blow a take, it'd take like 30 seconds to rewind to just the right point. But now it's easy with a QuickTime file. You can just we get a lot done a lot faster.
Well, and I got to hand it to Chris actually when we're talking about vocal consistency because Goku's pretty close to my natural speaking voice. I know Dameon's cell is fairly close to your but Chris has to do this raspy thing, and I know anybody who does voice acting, raspy voices are very painful. And to scream like that, especially the bingo song, etc., or my favorite scene where you're telling Goku he's an idiot over and over, and then you're like, how many times do you tell me I'm an idiot? As many as it takes. I watched that scene again the other day. It was fantastic. That's really painful on your voice, and it can really cause you nodes. Luckily, I don't think you have any. You're doing great.
I don't, but I do.
Yeah, but that's really hard to keep consistent. So he's done that for 25 years. It's really impressive. I got to hand it to him.
It is painful.
Inspiration, the fact that I was going to come in and voice a teenage version of Gohan, and the kid version had a really raspy voice, actually. So I added some rasps to my audition, and I just kind of went from there. And then when the narrator role came up, I was basically voice matching the previous one. And I was kind of voice matching Ox King, too, actually. So eventually, I guess they kind of made it, I kind of just made it my own because I noticed later episodes sound different than the earlier ones. And I think that's true for everyone. Everyone kind of falls into a groove, and we don't have the time or the resources to go back and just restart over again. But
Kyle, I think you might have actually been one of the first Dragon Ball Z fans to work on the show.
Oh,
you,
yeah.
You actually knew of it.
Yeah.
Most people who would come in, they go, Dragon Ball what? And I go, oh, it's a Japanese cartoon. It's like Pokemon, but with fighting. They're like, all right.
yeah, I did the worst thing you can do is show up at the audition wearing a shirt of the show.
Yeah, that would be.
That's
I
bad.
can't honestly say I remember that. I'm sorry. Because I probably didn't recognize it at the time.
But I love Kai. I love that like you made West Kai sound like he's kind of related. I don't know if you took any influence from my King Kai.
I did.
But I love how you made it sound like he's related but different. and then in the
Droopy
last
and Cartman.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. And then when you did Gohan when he got his new form, I don't know if you took this cue from me either, but it adds to the world building because I'm not trying to take credit, obviously. But you did this thing with your voice when he goes to Super Saiyan 2.5, and that's what I call it because his hair's halfway there. And you just kind of did this badass thing. I'm like, wow, he's like father, like son, and to me that adds to the world building and the believability of it. So I just got to applaud you there for that.
Well, thank you,
It's
man.
really great.
Yeah, same thing happened with Beast. I think I followed through there.
Really
Drop an
cool.
octave.
Yeah, so cool.
I didn't know there was 3 forms of Cell at all. I saw the thing, and I saw the first Cell, and I was like, well, that's spooky, right? So let's do The Exorcist, basically. Which, you're right, Sean, is very close to my natural speaking.
I was thinking of this one, you know?
This one, yes.
Because every time I see you, I don't know, hi, Sean, how are you? That's how I hear you in my head. So maybe I'm wrong about that. I'm sorry.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
Yeah. Sell Burgundy. Sell Burgundy.
Islands! Oh no, they're coming in the back door. I did. So I was just trying to make them real spooky, and then Barry Watson was like, there's two more of these, right? And so I didn't know. I was like, oh no. So then I saw the second form, and it kind of looked like Anthony Robbins to me. So I just kind of did that. That was like a weird Anthony Robbins.
Are you achieving your goals?
Androids, I know you're down there. 10 episodes of that. Remember the island episodes?
I just yelled islands a second ago. Islands!
And the third one, I was like, oh no, what am I going to do? Because you were like, you better figure out this third one, because that's like 300 episodes. And then I was watching Superman 2, as you do, in the middle of the afternoon as an actor. And I saw Terrence Stamp come down as Zod, and I was like, that's pretty cool. So, hello. Yeah.
That's a great
It
voice.
started off very different. It's like The Simpsons, when you hear Homer, and it's like totally different. Yeah. That was kind of my vibe. What about you, Mr. Seitz?
I just wanted to pick something very serious and put upon that I knew I'd be able to sustain once the screaming started.
Yeah, that's
because I knew the screaming would start, and I wanted to be able to hang in with you guys. It's like, these guys have been screaming for decades. I can't be like, oh, vocal stress. It's the pressure was on. So just want to keep them very serious and try to keep it clean, because a lot of times I get called upon to do very sort of gruff, bestial guys, and I wanted to keep him a little more noble than that if I could, even though he does some bad crap ultimately. So.
I love how this is also a South Park panel, and you're Kenny with the. I'm not trying to give you a hard time, but.
He did what?
Kenny, how dare you? That's awesome. My favorite stories, maybe it's because I'm a film nerd, I love the behind-the-scenes aspect of it. So, out of curiosity, do you have any fun behind-the-scenes stories you'd like to share? Whether it was in the recording booth, maybe like waiting to go in and record your lines, or maybe even at a show like this. Do you have any stories you'd like to share?
Well, Chris was guest of the day at the Ramada Inn one time when we were traveling. Where were we? Iowa? I don't remember.
We were
That was a
somewhere.
big deal, though.
Yeah, it was.
That was a big
I
deal
showed
for
up,
you.
and it was this. We were touring for the scorecard games, weren't we? Like,
Yeah, it was back in the Hummer days.
do you guys remember going like the scorecards where they drive that Dragon Ball Z Hummer all over the place?
Sonny drove that for a while. He drove it all over the U.S.
It's true. And they would fly us to these places, and they were always small, and they would either have 15 people at it or no people at it. And we showed up at Rooster Poot, Arkansas, somewhere. And when I showed up, it said "Guest of the Day, Christopher Sabat." And I've been that's been my title ever
It's
since.
8x10. You're like your crazy 8x10.
It's true, and I remember they let us use the hotel shuttle because I said, "Hey, does the guest of the day have transportation?" And they
You
said,
really milked it.
yeah, I milked it real hard.
That's probably the best story we have. No, you know the best story we have is?
Oh yeah, I don't know if I can tell that story. I can't tell. I did. But adjacently, I did share a float with Santa for some mall at that same tour. I was on a float with Goku and Santa on a float going to some mall in Jersey. That was crazy. That was also part of the score tour. That was so weird.
We did a panel in, can't call it
We can
a
talk
panel.
a little bit about though.
Well, I'm just going to tell them about the part
fire?
where they lit the school on fire.
Yeah, they lit the school on fire, yeah.
So there was some kids that couldn't get, we were in New
Orleans,
It
yeah.
was a little shady area, sort of. And where were we? We were in a gymnasium. and some kids couldn't get into the panel, and they got a little upset about it, so they lit the building on fire.
Yeah, because we had to leave. And fire trucks are pulling up as we're leaving. And we're like, what's going on? They go, the kids got mad. You're leaving. You set the school on fire. Yeah. It was really funny. And there's a whole lot more to that whole trip that I'm writing a screenplay about.
At least you had luxurious accommodations for that trip.
Yeah. In the mansion.
In the mansion.
On the land.
Yeah.
On the estate.
Okay, guys, this is a huge inside joke.
Sorry. I just don't want it to,
You got any cool behind the scenes stuff, Kyle?
Cool behind the scenes stuff.
Oh, you lost your mic.
I mean,
panel's over. No.
Someone's like, Jimmy needs to stop talking.
That's right.
So that's a great transition. So if anyone has any questions for our friends up here, there is a microphone right in front of me. We're going to have Cal, Mr. Cal Smith, Good Burger Ed over here. Go up to Cal.
He's going to be the mayor someday.
Yeah, I'll
He is
going to
be the mayor. I'm voting for him.
Vote for Cal.
Have you ever met that dude, by the way? The real guy, Donnie Full of Love?
I have not. No. Well, no, I think he was at a show once. I may have bumped into him, but I've never formally met him, no.
Super cool dude.
I bet.
I digress.
All right, hold on, let's see.
All right, the mayor is going to do a question. No, he's not. Okay.
Hello. The sound guy decided to walk away. He'll be back.
No one else wants to.
Hey, hold on.
Wants to talk.
Hey, they're
Technical difficulties. While that gets fixed, one more question for me because I'm selfish. So, out of all the characters in Dragon Ball, whether you voice them or not, are there any characters you relate the most to?
God, I mean, I definitely relate to. Look, I've been playing Goku for so long. I have to think about when I wasn't playing him to understand who I am. So. That's a hard one to relate to. I don't know, Chris. You're such a nice guy, but you play such a mean character. So do you relate to Vegeta?
I think I relate to Yamcha a lot.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But you were class president. You were cool.
But still, in this group of aliens, I probably wouldn't have fit in. But I've been hoping to. Like, I'll be right here, guys. Just give me a call whenever y'all are ready. I'll be here in my apartment with my single chair and my. They did a shot of Yamcha's apartment a couple of times in Super, and he literally just had a small table with one chair at it, and he had a single bed, like a twin bed in his house. No other furniture except for one picture that they would rotate above the bed. Sad life, dude. And he had a cat that I believe that only...
Yeah, that sounds like your house.
Yeah, you're right. A cat that only he can speak to. Because I've had this theory that no one else can actually hear Poir. That only Yamcha can hear Poir. And I have a theory that, like, Chaozu, no one can see Chaozu at all. And they just think Tien's crazy. Like, Chaozu, you're in trouble. Like, just let him do his thing, man. Like,
Tien, he's got that third eye. He sees shit.
Great Saiyaman, because he's a total nerd. I'm a total nerd.
Oh, that's totally you, Kyle. That's probably why you're so good at it. That makes sense now, because I love your Great Saiyaman.
Good casting. He could just tell. It's like, hire that guy. He's a total dork. They're like, yes, I will imbibe this character.
I kind of wish he'd stayed Great Saiyaman for a lot longer.
Yeah. I thought that was going to be an arc or a thing that he did all the time, like Batman. Like he's always doing Great Saiyaman. I was really hoping he'd do that. And I love that the character design of Great Saiyaman was one of my favorite Japanese movies when I was a kid, which was called Inframan. I loved that movie when I saw it in the theater. I thought it was so cool. The character design of his super outfit is very similar to Great Saiyaman, the helmet and stuff. So I thought it was inspired by that, but maybe not. It is Japanese, though.
I just relate to villains. I don't know. I play them all the time. I don't get it. They're so much fun to do.
I just now picturing Cell in a karaoke bar now. For some reason, I keep picturing Cell. All right, we're going to sing some songs.
Like some Laura Branigan.
We get the mic fixed for folks?
Black
All right,
Velvet.
Let's do it.
All right, so to our friend right here, what is your name and what is your question?
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
Who's your daddy? What does he do? My dad's a minister.
My name is Jimmy.
Oh, hey, you have a great name.
Thank you.
What is your daddy's name?
It's not more of a question. It's more of a thank you for everything, guys.
You're welcome.
Thanks, man.
I'm trying not to get emotional, but you guys actually helped me with my weight loss for a year. I lost like 70 pounds.
Congratulations, man.
Way to go.
Congrats. Awesome. Dude.
How much? 70 what?
70.
Impressive.
Dude,
7 pounds, dude.
7 pounds. No, sincerely, congratulations, man.
Thank you.
But yeah, every time I put the music on, I put you guys in there, and it just pushes me beyond my limits. I surpass, everything I do. I run 10 miles a day. I try to just push myself more and more, and honestly, thank you guys.
You're welcome, man. Thank you for inspiring
Thanks,
us. 'Cause
dude.
now I want to go to the gym. So thank you.
I totally wish I could use my own voice to get me to go to the gym.
Yeah.
You can do it.
Dude, I can do it for you.
It wouldn't work.
Come
trust
on,
me.
Chris. My voice in your head while you're at the gym?
That's the reason I leave the gym. Sean's on the phone again.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, man.
Thank you, man. Congratulations.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing, guys? My name is Frankie. That's actually my little brother. So if you guys want to know how he used to look like before, take a good look.
He used to be so handsome.
So my question is there any what if stories you guys would like to see your characters going? Or any ideas, maybe stories you guys have thought of that you guys would like to see your character in?
The only one I have is the one we do on Monkey Kid, which is the story I wanted to do with Goku, which that Goku retires and he goes into some like cave or along far away and he's meditating and a new group of heroes seek him out like Master Roshi and he doesn't want to train him. Maybe he's an asshole, I don't know. But he Mr. Miyagi's them into training, but he's not very nice, He's kind of Goku Blackish, He's like, oh yes, we're going to train them like that. But we do, and I didn't tell them to do that on Monkey Kid. When we did that show, I'm like, wow, this is the same storyline I wanted to do on Dragon Ball. But we ended up doing it on Monkey Kid, and that's basically the fundamental plot line where I'm playing the Monkey King doing the same thing.
I have always had this this weird fantasy of having Piccolo like babysitting Gohan's children, and he's holding the baby, and then suddenly he just starts convulsing, and he has to put Pan back in the cradle for a minute. He starts convulsing, and like something's wrong with him, and then suddenly Kami and Nail pop out of him. They're like, "We gave our lives for you, and now you're a babysitter. What's wrong with
Seriously, what are you doing?"
And then they fuse together, and then they fly off, and then they see Yamcha. It's like, hey guys, what's going on? Then they blow up Yamcha. Yamcha explodes, and then he just like sucks back together. And he's like, hey guys, how you doing? And he explodes again, and then he sucks back together and he explodes again. And it's Whis, and he's making time go forward and back because he thinks it's funny to watch Yamcha get
blow up. Wow. Somebody's gonna
I'm
make
sorry,
that
Chris,
into a
I
fan
missed
film.
that. Could you repeat that for me?
Somebody's going to animate that this weekend.
Did you have that in the chamber ready to go? Or did you
I've been thinking about this for a very long time. There have been other iterations I've told of this, but it still stays very similar.
Oh my God, that was awesome.
I want to see Gohan, now that he's gone beast, go back to his studies and be completely nerfed for another 20 years.
Yay.
I'm kidding.
Dude, you know what'd be cool though, Kyle? What if he became a serious scientist and then used his own chi power to power his mad scientist devices? Like he's just, I'm just gonna power this nuclear reactor so I can do this experiment with my
like
chi.
it. Sure, why not?
That'd be awesome. I'd love that.
I have one. What if I didn't let you power up? What if, and just hear me out, what if I didn't allow myself to keep getting so distracted by other things going on?
Like the karaoke bar you started.
Sure, I don't know. How easily distracted am I? It's ridiculous. And I'm like, oh, look at that cell. And I'm like, what's that? And oh, he's powered up. He's only 10 years old, for crying out loud.
I think my only what if is what if there were more Jiren. It's pretty generic, but I'm down for it. What if he came back? I hope he does someday. I don't know.
I'm into this.
He's alive.
Yeah.
Whole team of Jiren.
This idea.
Thank you, guys.
Jiren.
Thank you so much, Frankie.
The Jiren verse.
The Jiren verse, yeah.
All right, Vegeta.
Nice cosplay.
Thank you. Hey guys, my name's Eddie, and I just have a quick question for the whole panel itself. Who's the best father in the Dragon Ball series?
Not Goku.
We all knew that.
Yes. So I'm not going to even answer this question.
Ooh, it's not Paragus. That's for sure. It's not Goku. It's not Paragus.
Yeah. Probably Vegeta. Probably Gohan. I don't know.
Vegeta took his kid to the park.
True.
He hugged them when Trunks was 8.
True.
Killed
Yeah.
himself.
Yeah, remember that? That was a good time. He hugged his son once. That's weird. That's what beats Goku.
Piccolo's a good dad.
He is a great dad.
He's a great dad.
He's the dad anyone can be a Piccolo to somebody, really.
He's the dad
True.
who stepped up.
The dad you deserve.
Yeah.
Yep.
No.
No.
Yeah, I think the answer is Piccolo.
Yes, the answer is Piccolo.
That was my thought exactly. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, bro.
Someone get Piccolo a Father's Day card, please.
Do you know what though? Mr. Satan's a good dad.
He is.
He does really good with Videl, I think.
Mostly, yeah.
Hercule. Never mind, that's not as funny.
Hi guys,
Hello.
my name is Kenneth, and I know a lot of us are excited for Sparking Zero to come out. And then I was wondering how you guys enjoyed your experience, like voice acting for video games and for Sparking Zero.
I mean, I generally don't love video games as much as animation, only because I have a lot more context with animation, and so I can see exactly what kind of scream I need to do, because I can see the emotion on the characters. And with the video game, we get like hundreds and hundreds of lines, and the director's responsible for making sure that, and sometimes even the director doesn't know what it's going to go to in Japan, and so we're oftentimes at the very end getting assets and then trying to make it tie together, because these are huge games that are localized in many, many, many languages. So making it all cohesive is a million moving parts. And so it takes a director like Damon Mills, who's currently directed me on the game, to keep it all really good and making sure that it's going to be as good as the show is very difficult to do when you don't have all the assets, because they're making the assets while you're recording. It's all happening. It's part of video game making business, so it's challenging. Am I right about that, Chris? Because you know more about this than I do.
Yeah,
As the guy you're helming this game, right?
Well, it's fun for the first 6 hours or so. And
Well, it's like line by line by line, right?
And then it becomes a bit of a grind afterwards. People have come and say, "Hey, can I watch a recording session?" And I'm like, "Okay." And then after about an hour, they're like, "Can I go? Because this is boring." Because a lot of the time it's just it's a bit of, to be honest, it's a little bit of torture for a while, because you've got to do another hour to your session's over, and it's just like, okay, you're looking down the page and you see nothing but A's, like H A A A A A H A A A A A.
And then you have weird ones like Google blah, and it's like so ha chunk go, and you're doing it on the line, and then it's like, okay, repeat it from the last game you did. So ka ho ha, and you're doing it over and over and over, and then it's like do a kamehameha, but how big is it? So sometimes it'll be finished and like it doesn't look as big. It looks bigger than it sounds, and I don't get to see it, and so it's
But
what
like
I'm
you
saying,
multiply that times 3, and that's what this guy has to go through.
Oh yeah.
Like, I don't know how you do it, bro.
Oh yeah, because he's got to do 3 of all that.
It's so intense.
Oh yeah. It's painful.
Because as Vegeta, he's got as many lines as I do as Vegeta, and then he's got all the other characters.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You're always the last one to record, right?
I am.
You're the hardest one to nail down.
Yes,
'cause
I
you're
am.
always so busy.
Yes, because I record myself like remotely from my house.
So if the game is late, you'll
It's
know
me.
why.
My
Call Chris. His number is I'm kidding. I'm gonna say that.
It's so true though.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for the question. Hello.
Hi, nice to meet you guys. My question for you guys is, what is your guys' favorite fight from the series, like overall?
I have a question. Is this being recorded?
Well, yeah, but lots of people are.
A couple of people, yeah.
I'm kidding.
Oh.
So many cameras.
There's a camera right there, Dameon. There's a camera.
Wait a minute.
It's not being recorded. It's being live streamed. What's our favorite fight from the whole saga?
Do you have a favorite fight, Kyle?
I liked the Majin Buu one until Gohan got absorbed. And then it sucked.
I'm still thinking. I'm processing a lot of fights.
No, take your time, take your time.
Well, we'll be here a while.
Majin Vegeta versus
So many
Goku,
fights.
probably my favorite. Yeah.
Majin Vegeta versus Goku is a good one because of the redemption story, and that even when you think Vegeta's gonna like come to, he cold cocks Goku in the back of the head and steals the power anyway, which is really how the story should have gone. That's consistent with his character. But part of you's going, oh no, he's not gonna do it. Goku's gonna reach him. No, Vegeta's taking the power. He's doing it. That was really emotional because of the redemption aspect that was lost in that moment, and that Vegeta gets later, I suppose.
For sure.
My favorite fight's when they're in the air.
Oh, that one.
And then they go down to the ground. And then they create that little crater thing.
Oh, yeah, that one.
And then the dust goes like that. And then they walk out of the dusk.
That's
Actually,
such a good part.
one of my favorite moments with you, and I'm super pissed off about, and I thought it was going to be so badass, is Goku does Kamehame, instant transmission to Cell's face, ha! And I thought it would work, and it doesn't. He still lives, and I was so mad that day. I'm like, this is going to be awesome. And Cell's like, I grew back. Made me so mad, Dameon. It wasn't even your fault.
I love your Cell impression so much.
I don't know what he said.
You sound a lot like Plankton.
Like who?
Like Plankton. Like a Cell sounds like Plankton, but when you do Cell, it's very Plankton.
Plankton?
Yeah.
SpongeBob. Plankton.
SpongeBob.
Oh, SpongeBob, Plankton, yes. Yeah, I know what you're talking about now. Okay.
Yeah. You got a favorite fight?
Is that it? Jiren, you didn't have your favorite fight? The only fight you had, right? That's your favorite fight?
I liked one-shotting hit. That was right.
That fight with me.
Hello.
Hello, guy from the 70s. Hello. You're totally a 70s band. You're my childhood, dude.
I get surfer.
All the adults when I was a kid looked like you. All of them.
I get a surfer a lot.
I love it. I love it.
I was curious. For a series known for a lot of crazy screaming, what is the personal, just most insane scream you think you've had throughout the whole saga? All of you.
I mean, probably when we first started doing it, because we didn't really know how to control ourselves as well as we do now, right? Where you just scream until you start seeing stars.
Yeah. I think it was definitely in the beginning, before we realized we were going to be doing this forever, where we were going like, oh, we only have one chance to do this, man. We got to make this our very, very, very best. And we would blow our voices out, and then we had to do it again and again and again.
I remember thinking, I'm going to make every fight react totally different. Yeah. Not knowing I had like 20 million fight reacts. Like, that was bad. And then the Broly fight was really painful. And when Goku's getting squeezed by the giant monkey, that's actually pretty painful. Yeah, when because I'm really screaming pain, that's really painful. All of it's painful. All for years. It's
Just exclusively pain, basically.
Yeah, it's just pain, you know.
The worst was when you're screaming, especially when we were recording on the original equipment. It would take forever, and if you didn't get it right, you just had to kind of wait for 20 minutes for the tape to rewind in real time. And but the worst is when you were screaming like ah, and then it would get to the end of the cut, and you made it. You're like, yes, I did it, and then it cuts back, and his mouth is still open, and you're supposed to be going. You're supposed to have continued the scream. That's the worst.
That's why I cut together that Super Saiyan 3 scream, because when I saw it, I thought, I can't scream this long, but I'm going to see if we can make it look like one giant-ass scream. And so I'm going to scream as long as I can, then I'm going to match it to scream it longer, and then I want it to look like one giant scream for like 3 minutes. And you let me do that.
Yes, I did.
And it ended up being epic, because you wanted to go to the cut. I wanted the scream to be as ridiculous as the screaming in the animation. And so I'm like, well, let's just do it. And now the world thinks I can scream for 3.5 minutes. I can't. You know, I just cut it together using, Pro Tools and my own voice to match it over and over.
Chris taught us how to scream, because I remember it's a certain type of animation scream, right? Where I would just be like, ah, and you're like, dude, you sound like a vacuum cleaner, because it was just wah. A little inflection would be nice.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. Have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, 1970s guy. Thank you, 1970s guy. Thank you.
It disappears into a glitter.
In a cloud of smoke of weed. And it's Doug Henning. Yeah.
Thank you. Magic illusion. Hello there.
Hello.
I just wanted to ask, what your favorite Dragon Ball movie, either to work on or just like your favorite in general?
The last 4 movies I really love. I love Battle of Gods only because I got to do the giant Goku King Kai scene. However, I have to hand it to, I would say Broly is probably the best one in terms of just taking your head, twisting it inside out and putting it back together. And there's a couple of moments that Chris and I had that were not kind of scripted, like, have fun, Frieza, wasn't in the script. When we drop off Broly in front of Frieza, that was not scripted. And there was another one that wasn't scripted.
Oh, it's when... it was in the Broly movie when all of a sudden it looked like everything was on LSD for a while.
Yeah.
And then there were these 2 flaps. There was nothing in the translation. It was just their mouths that went boop, boop. So we just changed it to, what the?
Oh, yeah, what? Like, we just totally tripping, yeah. Anyone else have a Kyle, Dameon?
Beast Gohan. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
That's just a great moment.
Well, that movie's all about you, Kyle. That was awesome.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I mean, And Piccolo, yeah. No, but
Yeah,
I mean,
fine.
it's just cool because it was a little weird. I'm dubbing to this little monitor, and like a month or two later, it's on IMAX. And it's like it's kind of trippy.
Pretty thrilling.
That's awesome.
Cow killed it.
What was the question? Wasn't it about a
Favorite
movie?
movie.
Like, what's your favorite movie?
The question was, do you like screaming? No.
Did it involve screaming? I don't know. What's it about? Like, what's my favorite movie?
Yeah, the.
I don't know. I thought the new one was pretty
Dragon
good.
Ball movies, yeah.
Yeah. Except I let Gohan power up again. I was distracted. Somebody distracted me, and then.
So then you do a commercial. Hi, I'm So. Do you have ADHD? Let me tell you. And you do a whole PSA.
Sorry, what was I talking about?
Yeah, you do a whole PSA for ADHD. That's why I use Ritalin. You do a whole...
Extended release.
Extended release. So, ADHD medication. So you can conquer your victims.
Don't let Gohan power up on you.
Thanks for the question.
Thanks, man.
How's it going?
How are you doing?
Doing well. How are you guys?
Great.
Hey, man.
Yeah, big fan. Chris, me and my fiance just got done watching you and Yuri on Ice. So
Oh, very
that
good
was,
show.
I was like, this is the guy who does Vegeta. Now he's like in this role. So.
Oh, yeah.
I just wanted to ask, like, there's a whole modern kind of like meme movement with Dragon Ball now ever since Super came out. So it's not just like the over 9000s anymore. For example, my favorite meme is the one where like Goku goes to a Waffle House because he thinks that there's like strong fighters there, and he just immediately gets like laid out, right?
At Waffle House?
Yeah.
I love that meme. I haven't heard of that.
Yeah, it's great.
So I love that.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask what your guys' favorite memes of Dragon Ball are.
Oh, man.
I made one where it's like the two guys with the bong and Goku, Yamcha, and then one's jealous or whatever. I made one up where they're two girls fighting, and there's a guy who's jealous. I can't remember. I'm not even going to go there. But I made one once, and I like that one. What do you like? You know about this, Chris.
Oh, man. I actually know. I think the algorithm doesn't show me those because it says you watch too much of this during the day. So.
Yeah, I don't know
can't
either.
think,
I've seen memes that I can't talk about publicly, but
yeah.
Things that are like funny, but it's like I really can't repeat them. But
What's your favorite meme?
I like I said, the Waffle House one.
That's pretty funny, dude.
Like you were saying with Plankton, there's one where someone just dubbed all of like Plankton's famous lines over like the Cell versus Gohan fight.
Oh, that's funny.
Like Gohan powers up and Cell's like, "Get away from me, you cretin!" Plankton's voice.
Plankton.
That's funny. That is.
Well, now I got to go find them all.
Yeah, that's my next 3 hours.
Awesome. Thank you for the question.
Thank you guys so much.
I think we have time for just one more question. Hello, friend.
Obviously, longtime fan. Cell, I met you when I was knee-high at a mall randomly.
Oh, yeah? What was that like back in...
Concord, Bay Area.
Oh,
So it was
cool.
during, like, the,
My, how you've grown.
I'm
so proud of you.
Super Saiyan 4. Anyways, so that being said, I know you guys see like a lot of people go from young to old, sometimes later bringing kids. Sorry, you guys go from young to old. See fans go from young to old, sometimes bringing kids. Do you feel any sort of maternity towards the fans you see, or is there like a responsibility somewhat? Because
Absolutely.
have certain roles.
Well, it's funny because I'm noticing a lot of the fans' parents are younger than me, and then they don't believe it. I'm like, dude, I'm 55. Like, your parents are like 42. You know what I mean? Like, and so, and I did not have. Chris has children. I don't have children. I don't know if anybody else on the panel has children, but I did a lot of personal sacrifice to do the career I wanted to do, and I didn't think I was the right person to be having kids. So you guys have all become like my children, so to speak. So I love it when you come to my table, and I just kind of. And I will, sometimes mentor if people want advice. I say, I'll be, a little bit father. Of course, I'm the worst person to give advice, unless it's about certain things. But because certain things I'm very knowledgeable about, other things not so much. But yeah, I do feel a very paternal feeling towards the kids. I really do. I'm gonna cry, so I'm not gonna talk. I'm gonna let Chris talk.
I appreciate that sincerity.
Yeah.
Man, it is shocking how many people come up and say I'm sure they've said it to every single one of us up here a number of times. I don't know if you've ever heard this phrase before, but like, man, you were my childhood.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
like-
God.
And I guess we're your childhood. Sean told me something a long time ago that I actually think is pretty interesting. He's like, the thing that I think is fascinating is that, can you imagine like our voices were being like implanted into their brains when their brains were still developing, when they were young.
So the vibrations are in the synaptic pathways, And I was thinking this laying in bed at night in like 2002.
I wasn't anywhere near him during.
No, he was.
He told me the
We were
story
not laying in
later.
bed together, but
It felt great though.
So you say.
And then I remember going to a Target one day and like it was my voice booming all over the there was all the TVs playing my voice, and then I just got kind of overwhelmed. And then some kids punching a bag and my voice is in it. And I'm like, they owe me some money for that one. And then, and then
my mother bought that.
She
the one to me. She's like, yeah. Is that all you have? Bang. Is that all you have?
Dude, my mom
She hit
bought
it
it,
a lot.
and then we went on an 800-mile road trip to Iowa with it in the back seat of the station wagon to see my grandmother, and it went every bump. It was like, I will not let you beat me. I'm going to win this fight. Every bump for 800 miles. I was so sick of myself by the time I got to
There's
Iowa.
your vocal reference right there.
Yeah, that's my vocal ref, a punching bag. But yeah, you're right, Chris. So I didn't even take it, but you reminded me when I said that. And that was always just kind of overwhelming, the idea, because I'm very sensitive to like, kids being impressed upon, because I know that how the brains work and how they're knitting together as you're growing up. So it's a more powerful thing, which is why nostalgia is so powerful. And I was aware of that when I first started, and it felt like an overwhelming responsibility to just do it right. Because you're letting me into your formative head, so to speak. You're letting the show in. It's a very sacred space, so I better do it right,
I work with the learning disabled, and every time it's just like a sense of relief. So I can only imagine when we work with others, it's that same I made a difference. It feels good to make someone feel good. So just
Absolutely.
feel good all my life.
You're welcome. Thank you for
brother.
giving us the honor. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. And it's
Thank you
lovely
so
to
much.
see you again.
And thank you so much for the questions. Ladies and gentlemen,
Mayor's back.
Please give a round of applause to our friends up here.
Guys, thank you for coming.
With that said,
Thank you so much for having us. Riverside's beautiful.
of course, thank you all for your time, taking some time away. Before you go, can you please let them know where they can find you the remainder of this weekend?
Yes, I'll be in the autograph hall downstairs, I guess, for the next couple hours. And
Awesome.
Damon, you're upstairs, and
Me and Dameon are upstairs.
and Kyle, and
Yeah, they put me next to Gohan again.
they're trying to distract you.
That's right.
Thank you all. Thanks for coming.
See you later.
Bye.